Welcome to Caleb's Basketball Pod. Welcome to our Game 3 breakdown episode. As always, we're coming to you after the game. Don't want to say post-game, but the next day we're getting an episode out. We're breaking down what we've seen and what we expect to see in Game 4 of the Spurs and Knicks series. So I want to start this off by saying I want to start off with Knicks first. So we know San Antonio took this game. Winning narrowly on the road in New York. Big win for the second youngest team in NBA Finals history, so props to them. But I want to start with the Knicks because to a lot of people saying, and they're not wrong, Bridges did not play well, Towns did not play well. Brunson looked a little bit more efficient in this game, a little bit better offensively. OG had a really good game. Josh Hart had a really good game. Jordan Clarkson provided some fire off the bench in this one. So they got their scoring. They got all around their scoring. We saw them struggle with getting stops on Victor Wembanyama in this game. Wembanyama looked like a man on a mission. So it was a little bit harder to stop him, but I want to start by talking about what the Knicks are doing in this series. So we saw them kind of make the first move here. They put Victor Wembanyama in a lot of the actions. They kept going at Victor Wembanyama on offense as to make him play defense and get tired, okay? That worked out in Game 1 and Game 2. As I mentioned, he'll get there, but the endurance, Wembanyama needs work a little bit more on the endurance. He'll get there. So that was a little bit of a target for the Knicks, and it worked in Game 1 and Game 2. But now we saw in Game 3, we saw the counter punch from the Spurs. It seems like maybe, I don't know if it took 2 games for the counter, but it took a couple games for Wembanyama to realize what they were doing and for him to kind of figure it out. I think the coach's game plan, and great job by Mitch Johnson. He's been going back and forth with Mike Brown, and both coaches have been making really smart game decisions, game moves. But we saw the counter punch. We saw Victor Wembanyama more inside, not having drive to get inside, but already being started inside. We saw him get the ball in the post. We saw him dominate a bit more, a lot more efficient scoring game from him. Stephon Castle was amazing last night. He really just showed up and showed out in New York, which again, great game, especially the atmosphere. You're in the Garden, sold out arena. Even the president was there. You had Ben Stiller, of course. You had Timothy Chalamet. I mean, all these people, all these celebrities, man, the ruckus New York crowd, like fire and let's go Knicks from the start. And the Spurs quieted it down. They withstood the run in the second quarter, which I thought was huge. I kind of thought when we saw that Knicks run right before halftime, I thought that was a closing of the game. And I thought after halftime, the Knicks would kind of do what they've been doing teams, and they'd just take over, and down the stretch, they would just dominate. But that wasn't the case. The Spurs actually made an amazing counter run in the fourth quarter. They got the lead back and really did turn back from then on. The big feint, one of the big feints I've seen, though, used a little bit more of a bench, the Spurs did. Try and wear them out, but people's also talking about, and I'm going to get to this in a second, but Brunson. I'll talk about Brunson in a little bit. But people are talking about Wembanyama. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. When you're someone as good as Victor Wembanyama, you're the vocal point of the opposing team's pretty much game plan. Like, you're they're game planning for you and then everyone else. And then to get to Brunson now, it's the flip side. People are saying Brunson's shooting 30-some% from the field. Do you not see, like, the Spurs are picking him up full court most of the time? They'll try and wear him out. They try and put multiple bodies on him, this guy on him, that guy on him. When he gets here, you send the double. I mean, there's this whole game plan for Brunson, and on the opposite side, there's this whole game plan for Victor Wembanyama. We're wondering why each man's not having these great games. The design of the opposing team is to take down Wembanyama or take down Brunson. And on top of that, Brunson is still the guy I would pick for my team in the whole finals of if it's less than 2 minutes or overtime and I need a basket, I'm still picking Jalen Brunson over anyone else on the floor. And he's still shown up in those moments. So if you're the Knicks, you can't ask for more than that. We did see put in a guard on Karl-Anthony Towns. So we were seeing the point cat where he kind of stretches the floor, he distributes, he gets it back and forth to his teammates, and he's the leading assist man. Well, we saw less of that when there was a guard on him. Why did we see less of that with a guard on him? Because he doesn't have the availability as much to put the ball on the ground, dribble, and make something happen and dish. When a guard's on you, if you dribble, it's nearly dribble and it's gone. So at that point, you're kind of just stuck at the standstill, and that's where I believe the Knicks should have changed things up a bit. I believe you should have started the play with Towns in the paint, in the post. If they're going to put the guard on him, start the play with Towns in the post, make Victor Wembanyama come over as help, and there's the dishing, there's the kicking the out, there's the finding other teammates you're drawn to. When you're drawn to, that's where the dish out has come. You get open threes. We saw Landry Shamet struggle, 1 of 7, I believe, from 3-point range. I'm not expecting to have another game like that. A big thing I'm watching for in Game 4 is I want to see the counter punch. As I mentioned, Mike Brown started this, his game plan on Victor Wembanyama. The Spurs figured something out in Game 3. What's Mike Brown's counter to that? Does he counter that? Does he stick with what he's doing because it's walked 2 of the 3 times? I myself would make a counter, because if somehow the Spurs win 2 games in New York and it goes back to San Antonio for 2 of the next possible 3, it could be over in the other way. It could be going San Antonio's way. So the next game, I don't want to say it's a must-win for the Knicks, but it's as close to a must-win as you can get. And I believe that for both teams, because I think if the Spurs win and tie this series, momentum is seriously shifted, and now it could be the Knicks. I mean, it could be the Spurs. But if the Knicks win, I see the Spurs winning in San Antonio, at least getting 1 in San Antonio, the Knicks closing you out in 6. So this next game could be huge on momentum shifting, or possibly finishing and closing out this series. I want to watch for the Knicks' new game plan for Victor Wembanyama, because as I mentioned, starting low, starting in the post, you can't let that happen. You have to push him out, and I know they're trying to put OG on him. Even if you have used 2 and you have to push him out and you have to make someone else beat you, you can't let him start that deep into the post. He's getting too easy of baskets. We saw a lot of easy alley-oops too. You can't have that. You're seeing the game plan of the Spurs: beat your man off the dribble, drive to the basket, put pressure on the paint, throw you up to Victor Wembanyama. That means you need to push Wembanyama, A, out of the post, and B, you have to stay in front. Your feet have to be moving, your feet have to be walking, you have to stay there, and you can't let them get by you, because then you're putting Towns in a bad spot. We're seeing that easy alley-oop. We're seeing Mitchell Robinson, when he's on the floor, he's put in a bad spot. You have to stay in front of your man. That's what it comes down to, one-on-one defense. Don't let them beat you off a dribble. And then when Wembanyama gets it, you may have to bring the double team. It may leave some open shots, but if he's scoring that easily down low, then you have to do something. You have to do something, get him out of his groove. Now, as for the Spurs game plan, I liked what they did. I liked the bringing, attacking the paint, going at Towns, making Towns work. We saw Towns got in foul trouble early, him and Bridges. We see neither one had the impact that we saw in games 1 and 2. So if you have a Spurs, that's your game plan. You have to minimize what those two are doing. Even if Brunson goes off, and this was a great game, still under 50% shooting, but he had a better scoring game, more efficient. They don't want to see him get off on over 50% shooting, because then they may be in trouble in that aspect. But all in all, I mean, Dylan Harper did not do a good job scoring. They won. Dylan Harper's going to turn you around. De'Aaron Fox was pretty decent in the last game, but you still need more from Champagnie. You need more from Kendall Johnson. I mean, there's a lot of guys that have yet to really come alive in this NBA Finals series for the Spurs. And then on the other side, I mean, if you're the Knicks, you have to do what you did in Game 1 and Game 2. It seemed like there wasn't as much pressure on him in San Antonio, but you took for pressure and you dominated with it. I would expect more of the same, and I would expect you playing that style of basketball. And you can't let the Spurs defense dictate your offense. So don't let the guard play on Towns dictate what you were doing this whole time in games 1 and game 2. But I believe game 4 is going to be interesting. As close as must-win for either team. Most definitely a must-win for the Spurs, but very close to a must-win for the Knicks. And I just want to say, great basketball we're watching. Each game's been very close, so we're in for a good series. And selfishly, I don't want the series to end, so I want it go. I want it go maybe even to game 7 and get that fun of basketball, because it really has been. It's been that fun of basketball to watch. So stay tuned. We're going to talk more about the adjustments we see in game 4. Game 4 is Wednesday, so Thursday we'll get another episode out talking about what we saw in that, and I'll see you guys then.